Hey everybody, Corey here. Coming in to do the channel messages for that first week of July. You have to excuse all the dirt under my fingernails. I'm gardening. I just finished moving and still trying to get settled. I have no internet, so I have no connection to the outside world other than using up my data, which I've had to. If you're in Canada, you always have to keep buying more and more and more data. I know it's a little more unlimited in the US, but not here. So unlimited here means like 10 gigabytes. So I've been having to buy more and more data just to be able to get through until the 18th of July. So, but I am here doing the channeled message. And if you're also interested, you can go in and do the Mystics Power of Prayer. 7 weeks, once a week, releasing a prayer that you devote yourself to for the whole week of doing the prayer for you. And it's not the same as going to church prayer. It's very different. It's learning to ask in a specific way, and also about being able to allow my words to become your words and to be devoted to that for 7 days straight. It goes from faith to kindness. I can't remember what the first one was, but there's 7 of them, and it's over 7 weeks. So if you're interested in that, you can go in and you can sign up for that at any time on More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness, which is the school where More Than Existing is. And also in September, we have More Than Existing, the level 1 starting again. So the card that comes up to me, and I just had to go back in and get another deck as well. But this is my deck of Oracle cards, and this is the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. We're still beta testing. This is not the back that's on the new ones. It has this across here as well. And so the first card that come out was Innocence, and it's Grace, and she's beautiful. And she is the first of she's not the first card of the deck, she's number 1 of the deck. And so she's coming in with that sense of returning to some sense of grace, returning ourselves to some sense of grace. Right now, with the energy that I'm reading through, I was sitting here on my new deck. I am in Sylvan Lake now, so I'm right by a beautiful lake. And so I was sitting here with my partner the other night, and I just said to him, I said, there's going to be a massive fire tomorrow. I just see fires everywhere. And we woke up, and a town in BC had been victim to a forest fire. And my heart and condolences go out to everyone who's involved in those type of situations. It is horrific. I lived in Slave Lake during the fire there, so there's a lot of emotions that happen in those moments. But there's a big fire. I can't remember where I just seen this. Lee Carroll just posted wherever he lives, and he channels Chiron, and he just posted in his town where he's from, there is also a fire. But where I am, there was also some fires around here, and there was some losses as well, loss of life. And so you just don't know. But that was what I just seen all these fires, and it was kind of in alignment to what I was feeling as the moon was going through Aries a few nights ago, and now it's shifted again, of course. But that was part of it. The rest of it is that whole sense of the innocence and returning ourselves to grace, to be kind. And if you are in Canada, you are very aware of, you should be pretty aware of what we are existing in right now. I am of the Mi'kmaq First Nations, and so my heart is so with all of the families and the victims of of what we are existing in right now in Canada. And yes, every child does matter, and as we're going through this also represents that. So we've had a lot of traumatic revelations that are coming up. Some are not new news. This was not that treatment, those type of situations were not new. It's just things weren't being done. So we're shifting into a time of returning ourselves into a sense of showing ourselves compassion and kindness, but also having compassion and kindness for where we exist within the world right now. Everybody's in a different story. Everyone's in a different energy. everyone has something that is, you know, that they are challenged with, struggles with. Like, everyone has something. Everyone has a story, right? Everyone has a story. And we're just being told to just be kind to each other, to be compassionate, and to, you know, the same way, if you look into the eyes of a child, well, looking through the eyes of every adult that way as well right now, and every child that way, that everyone was once a child, and every child once had a, you know, a story, a childhood story, an upbringing, and we just don't know each other's stories. And if you want to know, sit with each other, sit and learn each other's stories. And what else I'm picking up with this is a time of self-love. Self-love is really important when the world feels like it's going to shit. Like, when the world really has a lot that is going on, it is very important to really give yourself even more self-love. Not to be out there, you know, not to be so impacted by the world that you forget you, because you are the one who's here right now. And you're the one that's existing right now. And it's in the existence of you right now is where, you know, you have to give yourself the attention. What do I need to do for me right now? What is important to me right now? What, you know, how can I feed my soul right now? How can I feed my soul? That's it. This is a very big time of nurturing the soul, feeding the heart, feeding and fueling up on the most loving things that you can, because you still have to exist in the real world that is existing out there. And Forever Golden Davina is the next card that come out. And returning home to us and feeding and nurturing ourselves allows us to also see the value of us and the importance of who we are, and knowing that there's sacred parts of you and your story that you don't have to share with the world, even though you may be a part of the things that are happening in the world, that you have your own personal journey, your own hurts, and you may not feel the need to be out there telling everyone or explaining to everyone why you feel like you do or why you support what you do. It's no one else's business. It's your business, and it's no one else's business. It's yours. And so you are like, I just feel like we're stepping forward into that time, into that energy of just saying, you know what, I don't feel a need to have to tell everyone everything. And if you notice, if you're on in my lives and you'll see that you're not seeing much of me right now, is because I'm in the middle of a move, and because I am taking some time and allowing myself to rest and settle in. And it's been a very busy year, and so I got my hands in the ground and putting a lot of effort into there. Now, the other thing that's coming up is the mystical realm, and so I'm shifting gears a little bit here. And so I have the Fae, I have the Faerie energy, and Fae is the fairies and Fae. That realm is not all childlike, but it does tell us about the woodland, like the woodland people, those little people of the woods. And so in my culture, you know, the little people are a very big part of that culture. And so that little people are telling us that they're whispering to us, and they're just telling us, you know, they've been judged their whole lives or made fun of or mimicked, and it's not really, you know, people say, oh, it's not real, but we're finding out more and more every day of things that we're saying that wasn't real, that didn't happen, that's not true. And we're finding out more and more and more that our world is expanding, and we're learning more and more and more about what is real, what is true. So secrets are being exposed, we're being opened up. And I've been saying this for a whole freaking year, that these secrets would be exposed, and you're going to see arrests, and you're going to see, like, it's just like these big things. But also the fairies just sound like this has been kind of their whole lives, and they've had to hide and you know, keep their self sacred, because you have to protect yourself to a certain degree from some of the energies that's out there. So we are shifting into the Fae, and we're shifting into the Fairy, and I'm going to gentle cards. I'm not going with my deeper oracles. I'm going to go with the gentler ones. And these are by Karen K. And this deck really it resonates with me, because the back is actually almost very similar to my logos. And so the keys, and there's 7 keys. You know, we have 7 teachings in our culture, And then we have in spirituality, we have 7 keys. Everything goes into that 7. In the Mi'kmaq culture, 7 is a sacred number. And so there's these, we all have that power of 7. And then we also have 11, which is mastering, the master number, and mastering through. And so 7 virtues, 7 teachings, 7 keys, whatever it may be for you, of just holding what I call your own code of ethics. And if you can align to your, you have a right to create your own code of ethics. And so right now, what they're telling us, this is protection. We have the beautiful protection card. And this protection card is telling us all about the fairies of protection are shielding you with magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking upon any of your spiritual work. And that's an everyday thing for us who work in this realm, who work in this energy. We're always, we protect ourselves. We guard ourselves to a certain degree. I always say I don't really need to protect myself the way, because I am protected by God. And whatever God means for you, that could be source, creator, sun, moon, stars, rocks, I don't care. It doesn't really matter. It is the universal energy of love and light that exists within and without, so inside and out of us. And it's the universal energy. What exists in the universe exists within us. And so everything that is there with us is very present right now to protect us. All the saints, the angels, the guides, the holy realm, the divine, alien, ancestors, whatever it may be for you, just know that they are there. But the fairies are, the fairy energy is there. You don't laugh at the fairies. You don't take them for granted. You don't use a closed-ended statement with them of saying like thank you is a goodbye. You don't close off and be done with them. You have to know that you can't use them. You can't use them when you're in desperation and this is the only time. It's about being able to build a relationship. And it's the same thing with God. It's the same thing with you. If you're not committed and devoted to you, if you don't have some sort of practice of recognizing and committing to you and to who you are, is that you're always reaching and seeking and searching in desperation, and that leaves you vulnerable and exposed. And when you're in desperation, you're begging, and when you're begging, you're not receiving. When you're asking in faith and hope, things will be coming forth, including protection. And so that's what they want you to know about that. But you don't make a one-time commitment with them very often. They're usually coming in to be of service to us in some way to help through. And then we have the fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. And that's time to be curious, time to find the awe in life again. It's like we can spend, you can spend 20 hours a day sitting on your phone and looking at the news and waiting for the next bad news, waiting for the next story, waiting for the next thing. But is it going to change what is existing right now? You just sitting there and filling yourself full of anxiety and hate and stress and worry and depleting yourself of everything. Is it really going to change anything? Lowering our vibration, lowering the earth's vibration is not helping. It's not helping in any way of being able to rise the vibration, to be able to rise the energy, to rise the love, the light, to be able to expose what needs to be exposed. If we draw in that darker energy, that lower vibrating energy, we're not going to be able to see what we need to see. We're going to be seeing and believing things that may not be as true as they are, and we need to see all sides right now. And so it's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. And you don't have to see what you always say, I don't need proof, I just know. It's like if you need proof, you have more fear than you have faith. And sometimes you just have to know that magic is around us, love is around you. And those fairies are everywhere. And as I'm looking at my hot pepper tree over there, I'm chuckling. I'm like, the little flowers are tipped upside down. I'm like, they look like little fairy hats or little hoods, little umbrellas. That's the magic. Have a childlike mind. Allow your childlike mind to find the awe that exists within this world. It is still there. Even through all that we struggle with, even with all that has to change, even with all that we have to bring to light, there is still the beauty, the awe, and I'm discovering it and putting out the flowers and bringing the flowers and listening to the children, learning something new, like this frisbee stuff they play. And there's par 8. It's like these frisbee looks like golf, and it's right behind my house, and they play in the dark, and it's never seen that before. Been living in suburbia for a long time, and so there's just this this beauty that exists within our world, within our lives, that even though yes it's struggling, even though yes we're tired, even though yes we are going through all of this and we can't give up on what needs to be done, but it doesn't mean you still can't see the beauty and the awe and enjoy life. So believing is seeing. And the last card that I have from the phase for you is life energy. And so life energy is telling us the happy fairy of sunshine brings a lot of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that need to be healed. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Because every time that we rise our vibration, every time we return to grace, every time we return to that childlike mind, every time we start to believe without seeing, every time we have that level of faith of just knowing, just holding on. I said, I'm not getting off of that faith train. I know there's good days. I know there's healing. I know there's beautiful, magical healing coming in for a lot of people in the world. Every time that you hold that, is that it brings to light the things that does need to be healed. And it's not pretty, the things that have to come up that need to be healed, but the healing itself, the journey through the healing, the after effects, believing is seeing, believing is seeing, knowing that you can feel and sense there is a new day, a new world, a new time, when the magic, the mystical, magical world will guide us through, and it will be beautiful. And we will be able to sit in the power of love and light. And love definitely heals the world. Hate does not. And we have to remember that no matter what we're challenged with, there's an opportunity for us to do the right thing for the right reasons. To be kind, to be compassionate, to be caring. And those are all part of the great teachings. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is not forgetting. And forgiveness doesn't mean that we don't hold justice. It's like, it's knowing that we have to know that we are changing as a world, as a culture, and as in our cultures. And we have to do things, we have to let ourselves evolve and let our hearts, our minds, our souls evolve into who we are here to be today, not who we were yesterday. Who we're here to be today and what is possible for who we shall be tomorrow, and bring that forth. And the final card, they asked me to give one more, shine from within. And with this one, looks are not only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. How true is that? So this is definitely that time of finding that and letting yourself smile and find a joy. And the more you illuminate that light, the more that you shine in this world. And just let yourself be that shining light. Let your light shine. And when you let your light shine, love illuminates. And when love illuminates all through, love is able to do the healing. Self-healing right now, self-focus is what is needed. We are in we're in challenging times, and we are in a time of change. And because we're in a time of change, it matters what we do right now. It matters how we show up, and it matters how we're present in this world. And I hope in some way that this week's message resonates with you. And I will be back in person pretty soon, I hope. And I'm trying to get some things recorded and get out there for you. So, and if not, go to the More Than Existing School of Higher Consciousness. All the links are on my website. Go to CorrieThorne.com, CorrieThorne.com, and you can link to all of my pages, to my school, to my TikTok, to my other YouTube channel as well, She Is. And please subscribe. Please subscribe, and if you like this, please subscribe and hit the notification little bell so that you get all your updates. And it's believing and holding on to faith. It's like there is just so much love that is still there, and you can protect yourself and hold on what is sacred to you, and just go hunting for the beauty. Find the awe. Much, much love. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.